What I always was in awe of Jamie, and what I was almost couldn't figure out, because it was so natural for him, is how he got the most out of every player. Like, I don't think there's a ball player that would tell you that his best years he had wasn't for Jamie Wentworth. Guys played better than they realized they couldn't, and he just had a gift for that. It wasn't taught in a classroom. His gift was he could get the most out of every player and make them feel like they were 1 through 17. They had a role, they contributed, they felt like a big part of it, and that is a huge lesson I took from Jamie that I continue to use in my coaching today.
He always expected the best from his players, and he always got the best out of his players on certain situations. He knew where to put them in and take them out, and as a coach he expected the best.
He was a very demanding coach, but at the same time he pushed the button right to the point where, you know, he didn't go overboard. He never went overboard with things. He knew how to push guys to get the best out of them, especially the pitchers. He was very good with pitchers.
I threw to one batter, and Jamie calls times and comes strutting out towards the pitcher's mound, and quite loud, with anybody that wanted to hear it at the ballpark would have been able to hear it. And he said, "What was that?" And I was scared to death. It was my first at bat in junior ball. And he said, "This isn't little boys' ball. You want to play men's ball, you're going to have to learn how to throw it a little better than that." And he stormed off the field, went down and sat beside a good friend of mine, Tyler Wynot, on the dugout, or in the dugout. Looked at him and said, "Bet you these next ones are going to be real hard." So that was kind of my experience with Jamie, is that he knew exactly how to push the buttons to motivate you and to make you bring the best out of you in every situation. On a game in Halifax against an intermediate D team on a Sunday morning, he made sure that you brought your best every single at bat of every game.
The decisions he makes that no other coach would make amazes me, and how they work out in the end. And that's just, you know, that's what makes him such a great coach. He's not scared to do that. He's not afraid to keep the team out in the field, you know, until 1 o'clock in the morning practicing because he's not happy with what's going on.
Jamie would live in the moment and make decisions based on what happened that particular second. And I can remember so many different things that Jamie would do that we were wondering, you know, where is he going with this? But at the end of the day, he always had our best interests in mind.
I've seen pitchers have no hitters in a game, right up to 2 outs left in the game, and still seem like they had gas in the tank. But Jamie felt that it was better success for the team to bring a fresh arm in and end that game. For himself, he never really cared about his own personal accomplishments, and he only really cared about the team's accomplishments. And because, you know, the individual success of himself and people didn't really matter. At the end of the day, it was all for the team. He didn't care if that guy got the no-hitter or not, and he didn't care if he coached that guy that had the perfect season or had a perfect game going or had the no-hitter. At the end of the day, the W was all that mattered.
Everyone who played for Jamie has a Jamie Wentworth story. Now, a lot of teams, if you're the 17th guy on the bench, you don't have a relationship with the coach necessarily, you're not tight. You talk to anyone that plays with him, they have a personal story they can tell about Jamie Wentworth, and that is rare for players, depth players. It's easy to have a great relationship with your top pitcher, your star shortstop, but 1 through 17, every guy for 15 years has a Jamie Wentworth story, how he touched them personally, and that's rare for a player coach.
And I remember there was one night up in Windsor, and we weren't playing that well, and we weren't hitting, and it was coming up to the 7th inning. Well, he looked down at Rod on the bench, said, "Rod, if these kids aren't going to do it, grab your bat. We're going in." And he put himself in. And I remember he went in the same shorts he wore every game and the same white Nike sneakers. And he went in there, and we're all thinking on the bench like, oh, this is going to be good, right? Well, he went in, laid a drag bunt down, and sprinted it out. And I couldn't believe it. And he was the type of guy that if you weren't performing that night, I mean, the guy was in his late 40s at the time, you know, and just wanted to jump in and just prove to us, you know, if you're not going to do it, then I'll have to go in and do it myself for us to succeed.
He really focused on the team aspect, and I think it all came together in 2011 when we won the Nationals. That was a team. Like that, I'd never been around a team so tight, so close, worked so hard, never missed practices, and he worked their butts off.
Jamie valued team building for sure. And I mean, there was weekends, we played together every weekend from May until Nationals came on, played a lot of games. There was weekends when you had 19 and 20 and 21-year-old young men that Jamie gave us a pretty good leash. He let us do our thing and have fun, but he demanded men when we showed up in the morning. If we were going to act like men in the night, we were going to act like men in the morning. Jamie gave us a good leash, but he valued team bonding and camaraderie, I guess. He made sure that we were together. We played together like brothers. We had a bench clearing brawl 2 weeks before we went to the junior nationals, and Jamie was in the middle of it just as if he was one of the players. So he valued the fact that we weren't just teammates, that we were willing to fight for one another. We were brothers. When we went to junior nationals, we were ready to go.
We always felt, and Jamie always felt, that we were going to outwork everyone in the country. We were going to be more prepared. We were going to put more time in. So we never went there thinking that things weren't going to go our way because we'd put in so much work. And it's just nice to see that much hard work rewarded. We had been close so many times. We had bronze medals, silver medals, like heartbreaking losses. We were leading Ontario 2-1 in the 6th inning one year, lost 3-2. So you start to wonder, is it ever going to happen for us? We'd put in so much time into it, and you do it for the right reasons. You love doing it. You love the relationships. You love seeing kids get better. But at the end of the day, we were at the point where we desperately wanted that national championship, and you start wondering, is it ever going to happen? Have we poured all this time in and we're just going to come up a little short of our ultimate goal? And we got there, we beat Napanee the first game, who were the favorites defending national champs, beat them 4-0 in front of a couple thousand fans, and then we got on a roll after. The confidence was sky high, things went our way, we were beating teams, everyone started to believe. We got into the finals, we got up big, we got up 3-0 early, and we had a comfortable lead the whole game, but you never ever felt like it was a comfortable lead, like 2 outs, 7th inning, we have a 3-run lead, nobody on base. You're still wondering, are things going to go wrong? Is this even meant to happen? Fly ball to right field, game over. Jamie and I beside each other in the dugout. He jumps up, cracks his head off a beam in the dugout, staggers, spins around, almost falls down. Everything's chaos. He finally comes to where it's kind of surreal. You're in a bit of a state of shock all those years, 15, 20 years of chasing this thing. We finally win it, and it was just a blur after that.
There's no real words to explain the feeling. It's just we worked so hard to get to that point, and we came so close so many times. We had 3 silver, 2 bronze. It was just to get to that peak is pretty special.
I remember an expression Jamie used to use was he had enough bronze and silver medals to replace the Confederation bridge. We won that gold medal. Our bat boy, his name was Ethan, he was from Ontario. He was provided to us. He was a great kid. His parents invited us to a team party after we won. And when we went there, Jamie had realized that they'd given us 1 medal short, that they didn't have enough for the coaches, the sponsors, and the players, and the bat boy. So after 30 years of Jamie working for that gold medal, he took that gold medal off of his neck and gave it to that little boy that he didn't know if he'd ever see again. So that was the type of person that Jamie Wentworth was. As much as he could be hard-nosed and drive you to do your best, that's the compassion that Jamie had, and the type of person that he was, is that after 30 years of hard work to get that gold medal, it meant more to that little boy that had been with us for 6 days than it did to Jamie. Jamie knew in his mind that we were national champs. He didn't need a medal to prove it, so he gave that medal to the little boy. So that was something that I will definitely never forget from Jamie.
He spent a ton of hours away from home. Every weekend he'd be away from home at tournaments, practices, money out of his own pocket. He would, gas money, hotels, meals, everything.
I think the biggest thing is that people really underestimate is the sacrifice and the time. I wouldn't even be able to guess how many hours Jamie committed to myself and our team the summers that I played for him. And there was dozens and dozens and dozens of guys that played for him before me. Jamie coached 25, 30 years before me, and every team had 10, 12, 15 guys on it. And he committed to those summers. He missed hours from his family and made huge sacrifices to do what we did, and for that I'll always be grateful.
Sheila's got a heart of gold to let him do what he did over the years away from home and family time, and she's got a heart of gold.
First of all, I think Sheila had a love for the sport. Sheila's a competitive lady as well. And she was just so supportive. I mean, nobody can do it without the support of their family. Certainly, he had kids, he had everything else. He took time away, but they fully supported it. And I think this is what makes this night so special.
The way he coached me and the passion that he brought to the game makes him one of the greatest for sure. And he's won everything at every level, and he doesn't care about his own personal success. I mean, that Coach of the Year, that was great to him. But the biggest thing to him was that team won the national championship that year, and that's all that mattered to him.
Jamie's just an all-around good guy. He'd do anything for you on and off the field. Just very well deserving.
We've certainly been through thick and thin together, from trips to Labrador on a bus to silver medal, heartbreaking losses at the national championships to finally winning a Canadian championship, and couldn't be prouder of you. Congratulations, great honor, and great to see you recognized for all you've done and continue to do in our community.
Jamie Wentworth in my books is a Hall of Famer, for sure. I can't think of a better way to describe Jamie as a person, as a coach, and every relationship that I have with him is Jamie Wentworth is a Hall of Famer. Always has been in my books, and I'm just glad that now he's getting the recognition.
2017 East Hants Sport Hall of Fame inductee, Jamie Wentworth.